We are back, and we're talking about the most surprising team of the 2017-2018 season. Now, I'm guessing that you guessing the Indiana Pacers. And what I gotta say to you is you right. It's the Indiana Pacers. Now, a lot of that is due to one specific player, Kehinde Bababatoon Victor Oladipo. But before we even talk about Victor Oladipo, we got to go back a little bit further. So this offseason, obviously, the Indiana Pacers made a big move in their franchise when they traded their franchise piece, Paul George, to Oklahoma City Thunder. Paul George is unhappy, the whole world knew, and well, they had to get something for him before it was too late, last year of his contract. In return, they got Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. And at the time, we criticized this trade. So much so that big people like CBS Sports gave it a D-. Sports Illustrated gave it a D. Yahoo Sports gave it a D-. And I also fall into this category. I thought this was an amazing trade for OKC, which I still believe that. And it is such a bad trade for the Indiana Pacers because in the moment, Victor Oladipo was seen as an average, maybe slightly above average starter who was vastly overpaid. And then Domantas Sabonis, who's going into his second year when his first year wasn't that great. He traded your star player for that. And I wasn't the only one that thought that because a lot of preseason power rankings had them anywhere between the 22nd and the 28th ranked team in the league. Vegas guessed that this team would win 31 games. And well, at the All-Star break, they were already at 35 wins, destroying what all of us thought they would be. Now, in the beginning of the season, when they started to be successful, I kind of thought about it the way I thought about the Orlando Magic, because if you look at this team on paper, it's not an amazing roster. I thought about it the same way. Remember the beginning of the season, the Orlando Magic were really good. They started off the season hot, on fire, and then Aaron Gordon came out and said, if teams are going to underestimate us, we're going to come out and blow them out. Well, since then, well, y'all know what their record looked like. But eventually, you had to start taking the Indiana Pacers seriously, and now, well, you still do. They have climbed their way up to the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. In this moment, because the Cleveland Cavaliers, as I'm recording this video, just lost to the Lakers, they are the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference when they were predicted to win just 31 games, defying all odds. And again, let's get back to the guy, Kehinde Bababatoon Victor Oladipo. Yeah, it's him. Now, obviously, if a team is successful, it's not based on one singular player, but he is the guy. He went from, as I mentioned, an average or maybe slightly above average starter to an all-star and most likely most improved player this year. Now, in the offseason, if you did not know, Victor Oladipo shed a little bit of weight, got a little more lean, and because of that, he's a little bit more athletic than he was last year. But it goes deeper than that. He's shooting the ball amazingly well at a rate that I didn't think he was going to keep it up. He's shooting 47% from the field, which last year he shot 43%. And this is what I always have to say to people that are trying to determine whether somebody is a bust. Because if you remember vividly, Victor Oladipo was the 2nd overall pick. And in his first couple destinations, Orlando, then OKC, he was okay. Now, I'm not saying he was bad, but he didn't live up to the 2nd overall pick hype. This is why I always say players have to be put in the right situation. Orlando, I'm sorry, Orlando Magic fans. Well, truthfully, you guys are just pretty bad at developing talent. You draft guys, they don't turn out to be the guy that you wanted them to be. And then you send him to OKC where he was really just sitting in the corner and hoping that he'd get a pass from Russell Westbrook. And you know Russell Westbrook is a phenomenal player, but that didn't fit the role that Victor Oladipo needed. Then you throw him in Indiana where he went to school and everything, and he instantly catches fire. He was on a tear at a pace that I didn't think he was going to keep up. And he has, and his team has been really successful because of it. I also have to give a lot of credit to Nate McMillan. When Nate McMillan was hired, I personally didn't think it was the right decision because Frank Vogel was fired, and Nate McMillan and Frank Vogel's play styles were very, very similar. But they got rid of Vogel. They bring in Nate McMillan, and somehow he orchestrated a way for this team that doesn't really have much offensive firepower, much defensive firepower, to be one of the better teams in the league. Nate McMillan, he's a low-key guy that should get some Coach of the Year votes because, again, projected to win 31 games. I don't know where they're going to end at, but they're already at 38. So he's doing something right. Now, you can't be a successful team without being a successful team. I know we gave Victor Oladipo a lot of praise in this video, but he could not be doing this without his teammates, right? So I got to shed some light on those two. I just made this video because I don't know if a lot of people are really talking about the Pacers. I don't think they're a legitimate threat to win it all, but they're still a very fun team. Whoever they match up against in the playoffs is going to be very interesting to see if they can match up with the team. Because right now at the 3rd seed, will they be playing against the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round? I don't know who to win that series. You know, I don't know who to win that series, but it definitely will be a series worth watching. So I just know the playoffs are going to be really, really exciting for multiple reasons, and the Pacers are one of them. Very excited to see how Victor Oladipo finishes off the season. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. See you tomorrow. Peace.